Looking for a luxury tender or maybe your first family day boat? Well, this Highfield 390 Sport could be just what you're looking for. Welcome back to the Rudder. My name's Brooke and I'm here at the beautiful Broadwater on the Gold Coast thanks to Northside Marine, and today we're going to take a look at everything you need to know about the Highfield Sport 390. This vessel is perfect as your tender or, as I said, as a family day boat. It has the capacity to hold 7 passengers and also carry 30 litres of fuel. It's 3.9 metres long and 1.9 metres wide, and as you can see on the back here, it has a maximum power of 60 horsepower, which really makes this vessel great for performance, and it gets up on the plane quickly. Having a look underneath, you'll notice there's reverse chimes. Now, these reverse chimes mean that it disperses the water nicely and it cuts through any condition, which we'll have a look at later. Once the water hits the tubes and then hits these concave rub rails, it disperses even more, which means your passengers don't get wet. Just a couple of things to note. There's also a keel guard running the whole way to the stern, keeping it protected from any stones or coral when you come ashore. It is high tensile powder coated and there's 3 towing eyes. Taking a look at the bow now, you've got lots of handles, which makes it easy to pull up onto the beach as we are here now. Now, the biggest upgrade from the classic range of Highfields is this extra wide bow step. Now, this makes it really easy for your passengers to board if you are using this as a tender, straight off your larger vessel, straight across with ease. You've also got your nav lights and these fold away cleats, which is really great because it means you don't get caught on it, your passengers don't get hurt, and they flick away when you're not using them. This vessel is made from Hypalon, which means it's highly durable and UV resistant, which is extremely important if you're using this as a tender because it can be exposed to the harshest of conditions. It also comes in 8 different colors, which is great because it caters to different tastes. Before we jump on board, a couple of other things. You can see that you've got welded handles the whole way along, which makes it super safe for your passengers while underway. Let's jump on board now. You've got a couple of seats at the front here, which is really important because you've got 60 horsepowers on the back, and if there's only 2 passengers, you really need to have someone up the front, otherwise your nose is way up out of the water because you've got that weight in balance. So up the front here is the best spot for the second passenger to sit. Now, you've got these cushions, which makes it really comfortable. Underneath here, this is where the fuel is stored. Again, gives you that weight distribution. This cushion is removable, and right here is where you fill your fuel, so you don't need to open it up and down constantly when you are refueling, which is fantastic. Clipping that back on. Down below here, if you're using this as a tender, these are lifting points for you to put it onto your larger vessel. You've got another seat over on this side, which is fantastic when you're going at faster speeds because your passengers can sit forward, holding onto the handles and feeling extra comfortable and confident. Underneath here, we've got a fantastic storage space that's on hydraulics, which is great because it means little fingers don't get squished. You've also got access to the back of the console if you want to do any upgrades to the console, and we'll have a look at that at the helm. So super deep, but this is also where your battery is stored, and I'll show you where you turn your battery on and off when we're down at the helm. So extra storage and things stay dry. Just as we transit down towards the helm, I just want to point out that all aluminium surfaces on these Highfields are covered with brushed EVA teak look-alike surfaces. This one is obviously light grey. Grab rails the whole way along, which makes it nice and safe for your passengers. Now, we're here at the console, at the helm. And this is really nicely positioned. At the helm, we've got a carbon fibre dash with enough space for a 7-inch Garmin plotter and depth finder. You've got stainless steel push buttons for your lights and bilge pump. Battery isolator at hand, tinted windscreen, and lastly, under bench, you've got a generous watertight storage space. Now, you might notice that there's nothing to trip over. There's no cords, there's no pipes. That's because everything is underneath the deck. The deck is flat, which again makes it really safe for your passengers. You've also got a self-draining deck, so when you are in the bigger waves and the water comes through, it empties on its own. Now it's a little bit hard to see because we're in brilliant daylight, but you've also got courtesy lights the whole way around to light up the flooring, which makes it nice in the evening when you're underway. Now, can you believe you can actually fit a ski pole onto this boat, which makes it the ultimate little day boat for your family to do some skiing or towing behind. So that fits in this section here. Now, I can't believe that this has 60 horsepower on it. It actually has so much power, it's a little bit scary. We have the 390 Classic, and we've got 25 horsepower on it. This has 60, so this has a lot of power. You've got your EVA brushed teak flooring here as well, which makes it safe if you're when you are stopped, obviously, for kids to jump off and on. And then you've got your cleats as well. So there we have it. That's everything you need to know about this vessel. Let's take it on the water and see how she performs. All right, so we're out on the water and we're just going to have a little bit of a cruise at that slow 6 knots. I just need to make my way around these markers. So I'm going to give you all the stats: speed, RPMs, and fuel consumption. So with one person in the Highfield Sport, it's sitting up a little bit because you've got that 60 horsepower on the back. I'm sitting at 6 knots now. We're at 2,500 RPM and we're at 4.5 litres per hour. So a lot of the waterways where we boat are 6 knots until you get into the open areas where under 8 metres can obviously go a little bit faster. So a little bit of your vision's blocked, so this is probably where you're wanting to stand up, but again, I'm the only person on board the vessel, so there's a lot of weight down the back. I'm going to take a turn around in a sec. Okay, so we're just going to do a slow plane now. Let's see how quickly she gets up on the plane. And there we go, already up on the plane. Nose goes down. We're going at 10 knots, 3,000 RPM and a little over 5 litres per hour. Really effortless. I mean, there's only one person on board, but seriously, straight up on the plane, I didn't have to do much effort at all. So we're at 15 knots, no sweat, 3,500 RPM and 5.4 litres per hour. Let's do a bit of a turn here. Go through the wake. All right, now we're at 4,000 RPM, 17 knots, 8.5 litres per hour. Do a sharp turn here and see how she handles when she goes back into the wake. Solid ride. We're at 5,000 RPM, 22 knots and 11 litres per hour. No sweat. Cruising along. Handles beautifully. Okay, so let's drop the throttle now. Straight up onto the plane.